Good morning. It's day 146, Friday, July 20th. That's Bones packing his stuff up in the dark at about 4:15, a little bit before actually, 4:45 I should say. Is my tent still unpacked. We're at the Herdbrook lean-to. We're at the tent site. And 146 for me. What day for you, Bones?
This is 151.
151 for Bones. We're up a little bit earlier than normal. It's dark outside because we want to get to the A-Ball campsite or A-Ball general store and restaurant near 7 when it starts. We're about 3.5, 4 miles out of town, out of A-Ball, and then we very quickly want to get to the Katahdin State Campground sign-up for list for the Birches, because it's a highly restricted tent site, and for thru-hikers making the final summit to Katahdin, and there's a limit of 12 people there, so we want to get there early as well. So we got up at 4-ish today to get the day going. So I'll come back later with updates. Talk to you soon. Good morning. It's about 10 minutes of 7 on Friday, July 20th, day 146. We have just completed the 100-mile wilderness, and we left Sunday morning, and now it's Friday morning, so we average 20 miles a day. And whoa, I think there's some trail magic here. Not that we really need it, but wow, show you that if I can. I don't know, I can't figure out which way is up. There's some trail magic. Bones, you want to check it out? It's probably empty cans, I bet.
Everything's empty.
Oh, empty. Buggers ate our stuff. But in any case, now we're going into the A-Ball campground. You can figure out which way it is. And right now it's not entirely obvious, but it will be in a minute.
Double white blaze right there.
Yeah, so we gotta get hiking. Talk to you later. Coming across the bridge and the Golden Road. This is the mighty Penobscot, I believe. And there's the mighty Katahdin. And what a beautiful morning it is. It's say it's low 60s out here, and we're just hoping to make a little bit more distance before a car or truck comes up this dirt road, because once they do, it creates a cloud of dirt and dust that stays in the air for quite some time. So hoping to avoid that. And yeah, we're getting close to target. We're just a few tenths of a mile away from a breakfast joint that operates here and some resupply. And then we'll sign up for the Birches tent site tonight, on Friday night, July 20th. See you later. Approaching the entrance to the state park, and Katahdin looms large. Beautiful walking here in the bog. Clearly it's like the work of a beaver, which we've seen so many times.
Right there.
We're now in Baxter State Park. Woohoo! Getting close. Target acquired. This is awesome. Friday at just before 8 o'clock. We're in good shape time-wise. We're going to get to the official entrance and sign up for the Birches tent site tonight. One of only 12 tent pads that they have for thru-hikers. They say it's for thru-hikers, but in fact any medium distance, if someone's gone through the 100-mile wilderness, they allow them to stay, all of which caused us some angst about whether there'd be space. But we're here at an early time. We've had breakfast. Things are good. And the weather's great. Now if we could just get cell phone reception, that'd be even better, but need to send a text or a call to my wife Anna just to reconfirm Saturday pickup, but that's the last instruction she had over a week ago, so Hopefully she'll stay on that and everything will be fine, but I'm sure she will. It's hard to convey the beauty of this place. Just between the smells of the trees, a field of ferns as I approach a overlook of a lake. Actually, what am I saying, lake? This is the mighty Penobscot right here. Wow. Just so many amazing views in Maine. It's so rugged, it's so beautiful. It's so tiring on your feet when you're walking on branches or roots and rocks, but it's very rewarding. Oh, that's a big river. Hi guys, it's Friday, July 20th, around 3 o'clock. I'm at the Birches, which is a long-distance hiker-only shelter and tent site, and I'm tented over here on that platform. Back over here, I got here pretty early, around 12:30, and Bones was with me. Bones elected to stay overnight with me at the herd shelter last night when we had done about 20. But when we got to near the Birches, Bones elected to head on to Katahdin, and frankly, my legs were a wreck. We had already gone about 14 miles, and it would be 5 very steep miles up and 5 very steep miles down. And the AWOL book describes it as near technical climbing with lots of handholds. So I've been having lots of problems with my feet, in particular with something called Morton's neuroma, where my nerves are compressed in my toes, so each step is pretty dang painful. So I elected to stay here. I've had to kill time. It's been a little boring, and I am quite sad that Bones moved on. He's a great guy. Greg Carruthers is his real name, and he was a great hiking partner, and yeah, maybe I'll see him in Millinocket, but certainly we'll keep in touch with him in the future. He's planning on doing the PCT next year. He's an amazing hiker, far outclassing myself in terms of speed. So that's too bad, but I wish him the very best. I'll talk to you soon, probably tomorrow morning when I'm starting to head up Katahdin, which is very exciting, on Saturday, July 21st. See ya. Hey, good morning. It's Saturday, July 21st. It's my birthday. I'm not getting any younger, but it's also day 147. And this is the final day of my AT Thru-hike. I am at the Birches campsite dedicated to long-distance travelers. There was a few hikers in here late last night. I don't know, a couple of them left at 2 a.m. to summon at dawn. The others I can't seem to find. I think they're tenting in the woods. But today is a short but intense hike. It's about, I think it's about 5.3 miles up and the same down. Some of the climb, they say, resembles technical rock climbing with handholds and footholds, so that's going to be a bit of a challenge. I have, even though I have my backpack on now, I'm going to leave that at the ranger station because the rangers allow you to take their day packs. So I'm just going to take the essentials and some safety gear, some food up with me on the mountain. It's 6 a.m. and the final adventure begins right now. I'm so excited and so happy that I've done this. It's been an amazing experience. It's been an incredible ordeal. There's been lots of daily pains, especially my darn feet, but it's been so worthwhile. I've seen so many beautiful things, and I've so enjoyed being out here in nature. And right now I'm so happy that I'm in Maine because it's such a beautiful and overlooked and underappreciated state. I mean, it's just amazing. And I should also say, hopefully, I haven't communicated with my dear wife Anna in a week because I have not had cell signal. But hopefully, unexpectedly, she's very reliable. I'll meet her after I hike up, get to the top around 10, I guess, at 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, and get down by, say, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and then hitchhike, hopefully, again, fingers crossed, the 20-odd miles into Millinocket. And hopefully I'll meet her at a coffee shop, because I'm really looking forward to seeing her again. And I miss you, Anna, and I miss my son Andy, who's off at the Marine School of Infantry right now, and look forward to seeing you both, as well as my dear dogs and family. I'll talk to you soon. Hey guys, day 147, the final day. About a mile into the hike. It's been reasonably simple so far, and just past a waterfall, and now it's starting to get steeper. Man, I'm already out of breath. One of my observations is the younger the people are, the just more hardened and faster they go. I'm hiking with a young woman named Chronic, and she was saying, I know I'm slow, just feel free to pass me. I couldn't even keep up with her. And she's behind me getting some water now, and she'll probably catch up and go by again. Beautiful day out here. Sky is clear. At the base of Katahdin, it's supposed to be around 80. Pretty warm. You know, 5,000 plus feet. It'll probably be 10 or 15 degrees cooler, which is fine. I got my puffy. I just took it off. It's hot because of the climb. Looking at beautiful falls the whole way. Just peak views. Let me show you one to you. I can't really see it owing to the fact that this is a kind of a cheap smartphone camera, but trust me, it's a beautiful view through the woods. Just so typical of Maine. Everything here is so pretty. Crazy beautiful. Come to Maine. Okay, there's a better view. The falls, and they go down there. And by the way, this just continues for quite some distance, shadowing the trail. Good source of water if you need it. But I'm pressing on. I want to get up to the top at a decent time. I know it's going to be some super challenging climbing, and I want to have some time to be contemplative, I suppose, at the top of the mountain and take it all in, what I've done over the last 5 months, and yeah, what it means, and reflect upon hopefully how it'll change my life for the better. I think it will, and I certainly appreciate the outdoors and quiet time and simple friendships and having each other's back when you have a hiking partner in difficult terrain. And I hope I can carry that that's a new sense of or new appreciation, I suppose, enhanced appreciation into everything I do. We'll see, hopefully. Hey guys, a couple of things. First, a giant salute to the Maine Appalachian Trail Club. This trail is absolutely covered with, so far in the steeper sections, with beautiful steps that prevent erosion, make it less hair-raising and less problematic for hikers. And you can see beautiful vistas already. It's 7 a.m. I've only been hiking done like a little over a mile, maybe a mile and a quarter. And you can see the sun piercing its way through the trees. It's so pretty. And I want to think about that this hike for me has been decades in the dreaming and years in the more serious planning and months in the intensive planning. And now here I am on my last day, day 147. My only regret is my only son Andy couldn't be here with me. We had long talks about that. Not sure if Andy really shared the same dream I had, but I included him in my dream, whether he liked it or not, as dads are prone to do. And last year, he was at Marine Corps boot camp, and this year he's at Marine Corps School of Infantry. So he made the right choice. Deeply admire him for being a really smart, good kid, especially for being a good kid, good young man, good man, and for deciding to do the hard things that are less popular, that there's no requirement to do the ultimate physical, dangerous activity of being a United States Marine. Love you, Andy. Well done. Well done. Can't wait to see you in August when you come back. Okay, enough for now before I start crying. Yeah, and I got myself together again. I had wanted you to be here with me doing this hike. Heck, we started hiking when you were, man, only like 8 or 10. By the time we were 15, we completed the 48 4,000 footers in New Hampshire. It was such a transition from you being a small boy, fearful, carrying a near-empty pack with a teddy bear, to when our final 5-day hike, before we got all 48, you were carrying much more than your dad, who was 2 weeks away from back surgery, and you had become the man, and you had become the protector of your dad, which I noted and appreciated. Was also sad that this transition, that you're no longer a little kid, you're a man. So, and now you're a Marine as well as a college student. And so, that's impressive. And maybe someday there'll be an opportunity for you and I to hike this together. I'd like that. And if not, I hope you encourage, aka, or slash, coerce your child, son or daughter. Girls are just as good at this as guys, at coming out here and hiking with you. So, yeah, that's an amazing opportunity. Do it, man, do it. Still in the tree line, some really astounding vistas of neighboring mountains. I have to explore the trails in this area. This would be a great place to come back to. Fearsome looking rock faces in this mountain straight across from me. Would not want to come up a steep trail on that, but it is quite magnificent. I'm approaching the end of the tree line, and the hiking is getting steadily steeper. Lots of handholds here. It's fortunately this section is dry, but there's been a lot of sections with little streams coming down them, which makes it extra slippery. I would never ever attempt this climb on a rainy day, so this is about as good as it gets, which is great. It's 10 minutes to 8. I'm on the edge of the tree line. I think this is it. It's been pretty super challenging climbing here, and from everything I understand, it's going to get worse going up there, so time to get engaged. It's getting even steeper and more arduous up here. A little hair-raising, to be frank. But that's where oh, I see some rebar up there. That's good. My friend Chronic has caught up with me. Always bet on youth. Oh well, look at these views. Crazy. Well, still no AT&T signal, which is a bummer. But now the Chronic's behind me, I'm going to press on. What do you say, Chronic?
Yeah, we're almost there. So close.
Yes, awesome. We're entering the Hunt Spur, which is the most difficult part, which is hard to believe because I thought what I just passed couldn't have been more difficult. But it gets more difficult, interestingly enough. Thank God for good weather. Talk soon. Well, I just passed a section which has to date been the most technical climbing-oriented part of my hike. All the way from Georgia. It was breathtaking. And now I'm just at the edge of the tree line. And there's a Chronic young woman racing ahead of me. She was behind me a little while ago. Now she's running ahead. Young people are amazing. The target is up there, I believe. I've made it past the edge of the tree line. What follows next is the Hunt Spur into the tablelands. Hunt Spur is supposed to be the most challenging. You can see Chronic just moved ahead a few minutes ago. She's up there. Absolutely stupendous views here. I'll pan around. You can see everything. Rugged mountains to my right. Endless beautiful lakes below. Endless forest. A little bit of haze here. I don't know if that's pollution, air pollution, but back to my target. Heading up here. Once I get to the top of the Hunt Spur, things are supposed to get a lot easier. It's at the end of the day, Chronic and I were talking about coming down the hill is going to be more challenging than going up the hill, as it always is for hikers. It's easier to climb up than dangle your feet trying to find a secure spot on the way down. Well, I'll deal with that later. You can see a few folks coming up the trail now. I've passed Hunt Spur. It's just before 9 a.m. and I'm at the tablelands. And this is pretty straightforward hiking. All with beautiful fragile alpine plants, and I'm told they have some strings up here to try and keep people off the plants. Something is so worthwhile. A lot of times these plants grow only in this one spot or are native to areas hundreds of miles north due to the tolerance for cold. So they're precious and have to be protected. So it's a small price to pay. Interesting, Baxter State Park was created by Governor Baxter. He was born in the 1800s, late 1800s, and by the early 1900s he was the governor and tried several times to create a large state park that embodied this very same area. He had grown up fishing and hiking in this area and had huge respect for wildlife and wanted it preserved, but he was thwarted by the legislature. So during his lifetime, he kept buying lands in this area, all with his own funds, and after a while, he had accumulated, I believe it was like 35,000 acres, and he gave it to the state with some very restrictive deeds that prevented the use of the park for anything other than wildlife, and or greatly minimizing human traffic. And during his lifetime, he added more lands. He purchased more lands up to a total of like 230,000 acres that he then also passed along in a trust to the state of Maine. And then before his passing, which I think was in the 60s or maybe early 70s, 1960s and 1970s, he then left $7 million to be used for the care of the park, because he also had angst about whether the Maine legislature would deny funding to maintain it. And so as a result of that, this incredible park has been created, and it's devoted primarily to the preservation of authentic wildlife environments, and truly secondarily or tertiary is the use by humans. And so it's a real gift for through hikers to be able to travel into Baxter State Park and summit Katahdin. Katahdin is an Indian name, sacred to Native Americans. And why wouldn't it be? It's so impressive. It stood for millennia and weathered endless people, wars, everything. So beautiful. And it's a great experience to be up here. And I'm looking forward to continuing through these tablelands and finally summiting Katahdin and bringing my through hike to a great, positive, joyous conclusion. I'll talk to you later. Now the lines and stakes have begun. You can see endangered habitat, rare and endangered habitat here. Beautiful little plants down there, beautiful greenery. They want you to stay inside the sticks and the string, and hopefully people do that. See, a lot of the string is torn out, but I think for the most part people make an effort to follow the guidelines. Wow, I see it, including the famous sign noting the mileage on the AT, and that is my target. There's a half a dozen people more sitting up there, and I'm guessing it's another 10 minutes of walking. Wow, pretty exciting. This day has been beautiful. Couldn't ask for better weather. And my dear friend Bones summited yesterday. I saw that he got down in one piece in the logbook, so happy to hear that. And wish he could have hiked with me today, but his destiny is that of a speedy hiker. And unfortunately, with my foot injuries, I am not. So no frustration at all. Bones, you're a great guy. And in another 10 minutes, I, like yourself, will be a through hiker, and something that is a big deal. I'm pretty excited about. Talk to you later. Hey guys, approaching the summit, and guess what I see? Hi there. This is a big deal. Day 147 for me.
Oh my gosh!
Woo. Oh, oh. I'm so happy. I started in February.
Woo! That's amazing!
Oh my God.
Yes, that's amazing.
So happy on a beautiful day. And it didn't kill me.
Oh, you're
Thank you. I appreciate that. Hey. Oh, I'm not used to cheers. What an amazing view. Wow. Well, I made it to Katahdin. Now I'm taking a look at the knife edge, something I'm not going to do, and I'm quite happy about that. It's a terrifically steep area where you're climbing on top of boulders, often along a knife edge, as they say. And then on this side is Chimney Pond, and believe it or not, there's a trail that goes down there, and I'm not going down there either. That'd be a heck of a trail. Probably be challenging to go down, or hair-raising to go up, but even worse to go down. It'll be like our hike going down, which will be harder than coming up. But wow, I made it. Day 147. Wow, wait. Now time for a sandwich and some rest before I go down and just have the memories. That's where I came from over there, the tablelands. Wow, crazy. Descending through the tablelands after a successful summit with my new friend Chronic. Woo! She did the 100-mile wilderness, and next year she's going to do the PCT. And last year she did the John Muir Trail, so she's like a badass adventurer, so that's very cool. And yeah, we've had to stop a whole bunch of times because this doesn't seem many people or any people in front of us now, but there's been a whole wagon trains of people, and it's kind of single file here. So we've stopped to let them by. And this is easy hiking. It will be for the next 20 minutes until we get to the hard part, the steep section, going down. The place that we came up, and hikers always prefer to go up a steep section than go down the steep section, and we're doing both. Uh-oh. But we'll deal with that then. Hi everyone. It's Tuesday, July 24th. Been off the trail for a couple of days. I have summited Katahdin. This is just a bit of a wrap-up. I'm back in North Woodstock, and I just want to express my thanks for everyone for supporting me. Certainly starts with the hikers that I hiked with. There's my wife in the background. Say hi, Anna.
Hi.
We'll come back to you in a minute. But starting with Starbucks, my trusty hiking companion for several months. For Choo Choo, who he and I hiked on and off for several months, a great hiking companion. For Nate, otherwise known as Bunyan. For No Doubt, who was a great hiking companion. And finally for Bones, who finished the last couple 100 miles and probably the last 6 or 8 weeks with me. Great hiking guy, amazing hiker. And now it's been a couple of days since I've been off trail. I tell you, my legs, particularly my knees and my feet, are still achy as they were on the trail. Hoping that will kind of subside and quiet down. I've been walking the dogs the last couple of days. It's been raining buckets, so sympathy for those folks who are out on the trail in the woods dealing with this rain. That's my dog playing, one of my dogs playing with his toy. And next time you see me, I'll probably do a few hiking videos or recap videos on my gear, what worked, what didn't work. And I'll be without my beard. This is the longest I've ever gone with shaving in my life, and it's gotten pretty darn thick, and I think I'm ready to shave it off. And I think it makes me look even older, which is not a great thing for a 58-year-old guy. I do want to thank my wife, Anna Sosa, who shipped me things, who picked me up in Millinocket. It's a 5.5-hour drive from Millinocket to North Woodstock and another 3 hours down to Cape Cod. And for my dogs for not ruining the house. There's Nushi playing with his toys, and Cammy is kind of a solitary creature, so she's over here. Cammy girl, where are you, baby? I love you. Cammy, that's Cammy. She's always calm. She's the easy one. And in any case, I don't want to drag this on too long, so I'm going to crank out my final video. What an adventure. I regret nothing on this hike. It was an amazingly good time. It was hard. It was painful. It was occasionally scary. But every day was a huge challenge. Every day brought great joy, great sights. And if you haven't had a chance to go out and hike in the woods, give it a go. There's nothing like hiking. And in fact, if you can hike, across America from the south to the north, you see so many things. It's so rewarding. And I really loved it. It's one of the highlights of my life. And now I've got to figure out what to do next. I've got some ideas, but we'll have to wait for those to be announced. Talk to you soon. See ya. Thank you so much, finally, to all the subscribers who patiently watched me, offered encouragement, became my friends, even when I didn't know you beforehand. It was really appreciated. I really appreciated your comments. And it was very thoughtful of you, and I'm grateful for that. So thanks again to everybody. Take care.